Good evening, everybody. I'm Mary O'Connor, and I manage the Aviation Safety Program at the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health here in Anchorage, and I am the Secretary of the Board of Directors of the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation. We would like to thank Alaska Public Media for allowing us to bring you Hangar Flying. We are pleased to have Kyle Moller back on our show. Kyle has been an intern with the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, and he's been doing some research on mid-air collisions in Alaska. Welcome back to Hangar Flying, Kyle.
Thanks for having me.
So on our last show, we talked about your research into mid-air collisions, and we'd like to continue on that conversation. You mentioned that the mid-air collisions have not been increasing in rate.
That's correct. They've in fact been decreasing, and markedly.
So that's great news. One of the things that we left off talking about was factors that you found in your study. The weather, the locations, those were all not significant findings.
Yeah.
You did look at which part of the federal aviation regulations the flights were conducted under. What did you find there?
So we found that 69% of the flights were conducted under Part 91, 24% were under Part 135, and 7% were Part 135 under Part 91. But then, to dig a little deeper, we looked at what activities they were performing under Part 91, and we found that it was about an even split of 45% occupational and 43% personal flights going on. 12% were unknown, but for the most part, it was about equal occupational and personal flights.
So to me, that says that no part is immune and that people need to keep their guard up regardless of whether they're flying for fun or whether they're flying for work.
That's exactly correct. No matter what, you got to be vigilant up there.
So the NTSB lists causes of accidents in their final reports from their investigations. Did you look at these and did you find anything interesting there?
I did. I found quite a few interesting things. This is where it really stuck out. The primary cause was the failure of both pilots to maintain adequate visual lookout. So 70% of the accidents, it was cited, so in 70% of the accidents, it was cited that both pilots were not maintaining adequate visual lookout. In another 15%, at least one pilot. So that's 85% where pilots were not maintaining adequate visual lookout. There was also 20% with sun glare, which makes sense in VFR conditions. But there were other causes not listed very often, but disregard of air traffic control, failure to maintain separation, inadequate communications, alcohol, diverted attention, absence of lights, and performing abrupt and unexpected maneuvers.
Wow. So from reading through all of these cases and all of these reports, do you have any recommendations for pilots out there on how they might avoid mid-air collisions?
Yeah, so it's kind of been said by many different organizations, but see and avoid is still the number one, and that's obvious here in these causes. 85% were a lack of performing proper see and avoid procedures, so there's that. There's also using the correct CTAF. That was cited. Using lights, landing lights, anti-collision lights, all that type of thing. Using a portable collision avoidance system or any kind of traffic collision avoidance system. ADSB in or out if that's possible. I know that's expensive, but ideally that would be great. And there's also fun ways most people aren't flying on their own. So if you can get your passengers involved, have them looking, always doing see and avoid. They're probably interested in aviation anyways, so you're training them in that, and also they're just involved in the flight.
That's a great suggestion, and I'll just toss out there, I had a friend that used to pay his children $1 every time that they would spot an airplane that he didn't see.
There you go.
So
I don't think I'd pay my friends, but I could see children, yes.
So for people that are interested in learning more about your study, what can you tell them to look forward to?
Well, so it's in the works right now to publish this, hopefully in some kind of a peer-reviewed journal. But to get it out to the masses who don't read peer-reviewed journals, we're hoping to get it into the transponder sometime in the near future. it's in the works right now.
Okay. I know the Alaska Airmen's Association readers and the folks that put that journal out would be very interested in not only your findings in terms of safety, but also in the knowledge that the number and the rate of mid-air collisions really isn't increasing.
Yeah, I hope that this can inform pilots to, be aware of mid-air collisions, but not to be not falsely afraid of them, but just I hope they understand what's truly happening with these, and with this information they can act accordingly and prevent collisions.
Great. Thank you, Kyle. It's been a pleasure to hear about your research, and good luck to you in finishing your PhD.
Great, thank you very much.
I hope that you've enjoyed our foray into aviation safety from a research position, and that the audience has learned something about aviation safety and mid-air collisions in Alaska. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you've enjoyed hangar flying. Until next time, fly safely.